Hi, Chris Newell again. And before I really go into some detail on what the Master ASA is all about, I wanted to just touch on something, and that is that one of the big skills that a Master ASA brings to you, your parents, if you're the adult child helping your parents with their move, or a service provider, one of the things we bring is, it's very hard to put into words. It's a soft skill. And the best way for me to illustrate that is to tell you a story that comes out of my study of things around seniors. And I'm probably have been like a lot of you, where spending time with my mom, and I wondered why she was telling me the same story, for the 127th time. And through my study, I learned that people have different developmental agendas, and as people are in their 80s, and it starts in their 70s, but when they're in their 80s, they have two primary developmental agendas, one of which is retaining control, and the other is discovering their legacy. And so I learned why, what part the continuous retelling of stories plays in discovering the legacy. And when I discovered that, my relationship with my mom completely changed. What happened was, instead of listening to her telling the story again and again and again and being frustrated, I started actually listening to her story, knowing why she was telling the story. And then I started listening differently. I started listening for things that she was saying differently. And that allowed me to have a whole different relationship with her. It allowed me to have a whole different conversation with her. And as a result of that, I remember very recently my mom was telling me a story, and it really felt like it was the 180th time she told me this story in the last couple of years. And she said something that I could not remember her ever bringing up as part of that story. And so what I said to her was, that's interesting, Mother, because in all the times you've told me this, I don't think you've ever brought that part up. So what is it about that particular part that you've just brought up that's different? And that just having that kind of a relationship where it's no longer frustration, it's understanding, and it's knowing that there's a very natural human innate need to tell these stories over and over again, has completely changed my relationship with my mom. And that's just the kind of thing that a Master ASA brings to you or your parents when they're working with you. I don't know how to put it in words outside of telling that story, because it's not a defined skill. It's some education that a Master ASA has had that helps them with those understandings and acceptances. And in the next video, I'll tell you a few more stories that will illustrate more of the things that a Master ASA has learned and how they apply. And I'll also tell you about some of the extra education and the requirements for being a Master ASA. So stay tuned.